We got 1, 2, 3 different knives or products we're going to be checking out in this video. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we have a knife from Trivisa. We have a knife from Oknife. This should be new models here. And we have a mystery item I'm excited to share with you guys here. We're going to unpack it together here towards the end. We're going to go ahead and go in this order here, and there will be links in the description and the pinned comment if you guys want to check these out. Prices, availability, and variants. I'm using the Rivery Zero here to do the honors. Also will be linked down below. Milled aluminum, very fidgety utility blade, made in good old US of A. But all right, let's see. We're looking at the starting things off here with the Batwing. Okay, that sounds like some Batman gear right there. Batwing, 14C, 28N steel on the blade, carbon fiber G10 handle. Okay, so it's probably one of those G10 / carbon fiber veneer sort of combinations we've been seeing recently. Here we go, let's take a look. Very premium unboxing experience for a budget knife, if you ask me. We get a sticker with the La Sorda, which is an absolutely wild self-defense knife, a Tilwas design. Mean recurve blade here with the talon geometry. Hawksbill, if you would, with the flat grind. Check out the overview on this one if you haven't already. But yeah, that is absolutely a wild knife from Trivisa, to say the least. I think it goes without saying, this is a very, very dangerous blade. We got a wiping cloth, we got some paperwork, and here is the Batwing. Okay, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. We got a plastic little Ziploc bag here. Get the knife out, and man, first impressions. The one thing that definitely jumps out at me right away is how much the blade sticks from the handle. Definitely gets a little bit wider here on the pocket real estate space, if you would. It is going to be a crossbar lock. Right, we've got recess liners on the G10 there. I see what they mean by carbon fiber looking G10, right? Kind of gives you like shredded carbon fiber sort of feel, but still being G10, it's got a nice micro mill. Hopefully very small. Hopefully the camera is picking up on that and doing it justice. We are going to have a deep carry wire clip that's reversible on the other side. So they got lefties in mind for an ambidextrous style lock. That's a check, check, and check. Opening hole here for deployment. Let's go ahead and send it. Bam, the Batwing for the win. I got to tell you right off the bat, that is one nice looking geometry here. It's a little bit of a Nesmuck sort of going up, a little ramp right here, and then Warncliffe going all the way down to the fine tip, a little bit lower than the pivot, which is nice. I'm going to call it the Nesmuck Warncliffe. All right, what are you guys' guesses in the comments? Let me know. I got a very nice flat grind. It's rocking this sort of rose gold bronze looking finish on the blade. It is 14C, 28N steel. Everyone's favorite budget steel these days. And it's absolutely looking nice. I like the little switch going on there towards the front. That's also looking good. A little bit of green there. A little accent pivot color going on with a nice embossed captive pivot. Checking out the action. Oh yeah, it's going to be ball bearings all day. Nice little open and close using the crossbar lock. Thumb deployment. That's good. Spidey flick. That's where it's at. You know, when Batman needs his gear. I kind of overdid it that time. But yeah, when Batman needs his gear, he's going to reach for the Batwing. And in a way, I mean, you can kind of cover it right here. Could look like maybe like the wingspan of a bat in a way. Very creative name, so I give him credit for that. Good plunge grind situation. That's looking nice. Very nice and toothy edge right there, to say the least. Great for utility cuts and draw cuts. As far as ergos, check it out. Full 4-finger grip. Definitely going to be able to get a full purchase, no doubt. And if you have bigger hands, you have this nice finger choke here, able to get a forward choke for better control of the cut. The jimping is nice. Kind of wish it kind of went up just a little bit more up the ramp there. That would have been ideal, if you ask me. Because naturally, my thumb is like halfway in the jimping, halfway not. But that would be, again, nitpicking, just a personal preference. But yeah, jimping is solid, nice and comfortable, functional. And needless to say, this thing is a guillotine on the way down. Just pull back on the lock bar, little flick of the wrist. And yeah, better move your fingers out the way. It is finger safe, obviously, in the open and close, using a axis lock or a crossbar lock system like this one. The recess liners are also nice and milled, and we do have an aluminum backspacer that's going to match the pivot color. So that's like a third little color sort of combination there to spice things off. No lanyard solution that I can see, no hole or anything like that. So tying a lanyard to the pocket clip will be your next best bet there if you're a lanyard person. But I gotta tell you, man, that is one sexy looking geometry, just my cup of tea. Overall length coming very close to 7.75 inches. We have close to, I want to say, just under 3.5, like 3.45 on the blade, 3 inches on the cutting path. and the handle is going to be a whopping just over 4 1/4, like 4.3, 4.35. Good reverse grip, that feels nice on hand. We got a little gas station fighting grip, that feels good too, and a little Pacol grip, probably not as much. It's the least comfortable of the four. But yeah, talk about a solid sort of Warncliffe that kind of goes up, again, little Nest Muck style, turn into Warncliffe sort of geometry. I'm digging it. What are you guys' thoughts on this one? First knife of the video. Let's go ahead and have it do the honors here on this new Oknife EDC here. This one should be interesting. Let's take a look. This is the Oknife LK. If it is what I think it is, they're definitely cooking over at Oknife. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. Right? What would happen if you get a flashlight and a knife and you mix it together and it's not a multi-tool, but it's a knife with a light? That's exactly what they're going for here. This one has a light built into the handle, so that's interesting. We're going to check that out together. Read me. The device ships in locked out mode. To unlock it before use, turn the switch for about 2 seconds until the light turns on. Okay, we'll be doing that. Fully charge the battery before the first use. Red blinking light means charging and green light means completely charged. During charging, only the middle brightness level is supported. Okay, good to know. But yes, if you know Oknife and Olight, right, they're the same company. They do flashlights under the Olight brand umbrella and they do knives under the Oknife brand umbrella. So it makes sense that they do a little merger of the two. We got a USB-C charging cable, USB-C to USB-C. That's nice to have out of the box. And then we have some additional instructions here, the user manual. We'll keep that handy in case we need it. But all right, here we go. This is definitely a very unique experience. We've done plenty of knives here on the channel, and we have done plenty of flashlights, but this one is like a 2-in-1. For starters, first impressions, I'm digging the aluminum here. There's a button there for the light, and then we've got the knife. So they say to hold it for about 2 seconds. There we go, and now we are cooking. Well, that got pretty light. Kind of blinded me for a second. It throws a little bit of a ring sort of light, which is nice. In a way, it is kind of like a ring light, sort of. Check that out. And that is, the camera is not even doing it justice. I can't even look at it. That's how bright it is. Check out the different modes. So that's off. One press on, one press off. It's a press and hold, I'm sure. That's going to let us cycle through the different modes. All right, so it looks like a low and a high, and then a double tap will be probably turbo. There we go. And then one press on and off. Now I'm thinking you can lock it from the off position if you press and hold for about 2 seconds. Yeah, that's the lock mode. So now if I press it, yeah, it's just going to remind me that it's locked out. That just prevents it from accidentally turning on in your pocket and things like that. So they thought about it. I would have to just press and hold for 2 seconds or more just to be able to get it out of lock mode. So the light is nice and convenient to have, because then you now don't have to think about 2 separate items to carry with you. Right now, the knife and the light are one item. So it's a little bit of a compromise there. We have a back flipper for the knife. The blade tucks in completely into the handle. So to the untrained eye, it just looks like a flashlight with a pocket clip. That's a pretty deep carry pocket clip, by the way. A little bit on the lengthier side. We have the same matching back spacer. Here's the USB-C charger right on the side here of the light. Again, pretty interesting concept to have a light on a knife. But here we go. Let's go ahead and send it. Bam. Check it out. Now, I'm sure I know exactly what you guys are thinking in the comments. Miguel, the blade to handle ratio, it's a little off on this guy. I'm like, no kidding, right? Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a trade-off here. The blade kind of tucks in about right here. The rest of the back spacer, there's room for batteries and obviously flashlight components and things like that. You know, it's kind of a given here. We do have, surprisingly, wait a second, did they go all the way to M390 on this? Now that I'm surprised with. I was not expecting that to be M390 steel. Pleasantly surprised, absolutely. LK MAD or MAU, I'm sure they're not MAD, they're just LK, LK MAU. L for light, K for knife, makes sense. Now for the blade, we have a little bit of a clip point with a little bit of a tanto. We have dual flat zones on the blade. We'll probably zoom in a tad bit. You guys can get a closer look, and we do have a little recurve going on here. So it is going to be a dual flat recurve tanto clip point. How about that? And if you think I'm wrong, obviously let me know in the comments your best denomination, best guesses for this blade geometry classification. We do have some jimping on the tang of the blade, a little bit of it also on the handle. Just interesting. Now it is going to be a good old plunge lock button lock, right? The traditional, right? Classy button locks. So that means we'll bring out the 2x4 here in just a second. to do a little bit of a whack test. So on the close, nice and smooth. Oh yeah, that is very smooth. It's interesting sort of carrying a knife where the pocket clip is, yeah, that's going to make it tip down carry, which is kind of a weird call. I would have wanted to reverse it, but this is where the charging port is. So again, some trade-offs need to be made. It is going to carry as a tip down carry knife. Haven't carried one of those like that in a minute. As long as you put it against the seam of your pocket, right, the blade is not going anywhere, so you should be good there. We said that back flipper is the other deployment method, and you can use, of course, the button itself. So very nice and fidgety from that standpoint. Very smooth, ball bearing action is nice. It's a weird feeling with the pocket clip back here to kind of get a good grip, but kind of getting the hang of it and getting used to it. You don't want to submerge it in water. It's not waterproof. I wouldn't necessarily do that. You'll keep it nice and clean and dried off, just like most knives, right? General maintenance, if you would. And as far as the erg goes, check it out. Full 4-finger grip. You want to be careful here with the button. You could accidentally disengage it on yourself if you are not careful. There's no safeguards around the button. It does protrude out of the handle a tad bit. So if you're over here not being careful and you press it in accident, you're going to disengage it on yourself. So be mindful of that. But other than that, yeah, I'm able to get a full purchase. It is going to be about a medium knife or so. I mean, you could theoretically put pressure on the button if you grip a certain way, like your ring finger might press it accidentally, but if you have it on lockdown mode, you should be good. I feel the pocket clip a tad bit. I'm going to go maybe 8.5 out of 10. Other than that, all the corners are nice and rounded off. Good chamfering all the way around. Overall length here on the LK from Oknife, light and knife together, 6¼ inches, right? 6.25. We have about 2.5 on the blade. Cutting path is also about 2.5. Handle length is going to be just a hair over 3.75, like 3.8. And as far as testing that button lock goes, right, we got the subscribe stick of truth here. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but let's just go ahead and close it, open it, reset it, move my fingers out of the way. Couple taps here. All right, that's pretty solid. Again, not really proving much, but for what it's worth, I know some of you guys want to see how it performs and if the plunge lock will fail. Going a little bit harder. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. There's no button lash, right, or plunge lock lash or of any kind. It comes back up, goes down nicely. Good spring tension there on the coil spring, if you would. And it passes the cliche whack test for what it's worth. So there you go. Now, I think this is very unique. Has this been done before? Probably, right, in some sort of multi-tool. I know there are some key solutions out there that have multiple different tools. They have a blade of sorts, usually like a cheap blade, usually like a very cheap light and things like that. But here you're getting, you know, Olight. They do really, really solid flashlights. And you're getting a nice steel here, M390 on the blade. So, you know, there are some trade-off, like I said, you know, with the pocket clip and certain things like that that you have to kind of be aware. But is it nice to carry 2 items in one? Absolutely. That's a trade-off with a multi-tool, right? You carry a multi-tool for a reason. It brings about 12, 15, however many tools in one item or one product. And this one is kind of taking that approach for at least 2 of the most popular items that we usually carry the most, the knife and the flashlight. Now, when it comes time to sharpening, I know this recurve here is going to be a little bit more challenging than if it was just a nice natural belly, but it is very nice and sharp. I definitely feel that on my very scientific nail test. Let me know your thoughts on this one, but let's go ahead and move on to the mystery item. What is the mystery item for today's video? If you guys are ready, I'm ready. Here we go. This box right here is coming straight from Fox River Blades, aka Jaden Schubert himself. And this portion of the video is going to be sponsored. I'm very appreciative of that, but that in no way, shape, or form changes any feedback or the way I would go over the product like I usually do in my videos. That being said, Jaden does a lot of custom fixed blades, custom knives, and he's got a very cool background story of what got him into knives and things like that. So I'm going to be sharing all that with you guys. But let's go ahead and dig in here. Here we go. We have a custom-made fixed blade. This is looking good. Oh man, come on now. Fox River Blade sticker. That's looking nice with the orange there. And other than that, just very straightforward unboxing. Still managing to feel premium. But of course, you already know, if you've been into knives at all, you know in the custom world, on the custom side of things, custom knives can definitely get very creative. They can get very epic the way that they're put together by custom knife makers. And we're gonna check this one out, do a little overview, of course, a little review, and of course tell you a little bit more about Fox River blades. But sheath experience looking good, loving the hardware right there. And we have the universal little spring loader button. You can move this one around. You got the same distance here to here, there to there, right? And so on and so forth. We'll come back to the sheath in a moment. Oh boy, man, oh man, check this out, guys. Holy smokes. Where do we even begin? I mean, there is definitely quite a lot going on here. We definitely have to break it down piece by piece. I mean, for starters, I can tell it's a custom made knife, not a production. Obviously, there's definitely a lot of handwork, sweat, and elbow grease to put this thing together. So there's already a level of appreciation for that right off the bat. I'm going to set it down so you guys can get an overall look of what it looks like. There is the one knife that comes to mind, a folding knife. It kind of looks very close to. And you know, as a knife guy, there's so many knives and designs I've checked out in the past. Sometimes when I see a certain design or geometry, something else comes to mind. I'm sure you guys can relate. But here we go. The best way to do it, for lack of a better approach, is we're going to just break it down here. First things first, check out the blade, right? This has got like an acid wash finish in a way. I mean, I'm loving the sort of belt sort of finish. I can see some lines coming down, which is looking rad here on this flat ground. We have a nice little switch at the top with a little bit of a harpoon, little clip point going on there. And we got some belly here, not the tallest blade out there, but nice and narrow, and I'm sure very slicey. Oh yeah, that feels really good. We got a finger choil on there. We're gonna test that out in a moment. And as for the handle, I want to say this is some nice carbon fiber looking on here. I want to say not necessarily polished, but very nice and smooth finish to it, which looks good. A little bit of a shredded sort of finish to it. That's looking pretty rad. The way he managed to do, I guess, I mean, where's the hardware? There is no hardware here. Typically where you would see screws, either a Phillips head or a T8. Now we see just some tubes, right? These are like maybe some brass tubes going all the way from one end to another, holding the handles together. That's an interesting little decision there. Check that out. Obviously something you will see a lot more in the custom knife world. That could be your lanyard solution back there for my lanyard people. I'm loving the different layers here. So we got a full tank construction. We have a nice little accent of red right there. And I was talking to Jaden about this because he wanted to feature, you know, his work in the channel. And I thought that was pretty awesome because, you know, he's doing some pretty cool stuff. We were thinking about colors. He asked me what my favorite colors were, which are, you know, I do like monochromatic knives, you know, my silvers, my grays, my blacks and such. But, you know, my favorite color is red. So there's a little bit of hint of red here, which is really cool. I definitely love how he personalized this one. That is very nice. As for the ergos, yeah, definitely a full 4-finger grip here between what could be considered a finger guard and this nice little portion there towards the back of the handle. Man, that fits like a glove. That is pretty hand melting right there, no doubt about it. Even this little peaky section here is not peaky, it's just a little hump. That feels nice on the palm. Nice and round, pretty much, for lack of a better word. So yeah, pretty good, solid 10 out of 10 there in the ergos department. If you had bigger hands, guess what? That's where that finger choke is gonna come in clutch, and you're good to go. You can forward choke, do some tip work, some puncturing work if you need to, right? You can get more control of your slicing, do some tabletop cutting with that belly and things like that. So yeah, ergos are absolutely pretty good. Even the reverse grip feels nice. Little Friday night gas station fighting grip. And the Picot grip, probably not so much, but man, this is awesome. Just a little bit more about Jaden. I want you guys to kind of understand where he comes from. So Jaden from Fox River Blades, he's pretty young, by the way. He started making knives when he was 15 as a hobby. I mean, I didn't even know what the heck I wanted to do with my life when I was 15 years old, I'll tell you that. Started as a hobby, and now it is actually his full-time job, which is pretty cool. Now, Jaden was paralyzed in a car accident in 2021, and he had to basically relearn how to do most daily tasks. He was sharing with me that getting back to work, doing the things he's passionate about, like making knives, was an absolute motivator for him to keep moving forward, keep pushing forward. He's passionate about his work, obviously, and it shows now that I get a chance to check it out here on hand for sure. And his goal is to turn Fox River Blades into a big name in the EDC community. Now, one thing I think is pretty cool, just like myself and a lot of other content creators, we are like a one-man show, one-man operation. So is Jaden. And he really wants to provide the best customer service and the best knives out there without cutting corners. So that's pretty awesome. I know he factors a lot of the community feedback into the kind of work that he does. So if you have any feedback for Jaden, definitely leave a comment down below. He's going to be hanging out down in the comment section, hanging out with you guys, answering questions, reading through all the feedback. And if you want a custom fixed blade, I mean, he's doing some pretty cool stuff. I know lately he's going to be focusing on more EDC knives. He's got tons of wild designs. I mean, you could look through his catalog. His website is going to be linked down below. He can definitely make a custom knife for you, whatever it is you have in mind. Just hit him up and just talk ideas. I'm sure he can definitely make it work. But in the future, he's going to be focusing on very EDC oriented knives that are friendly for everyday carry, of course. I mean, I got to tell you, I am absolutely impressed with this model here. Yeah, he's got tons of awesome designs. Check it out. This one feels pretty nice on hand. I mean, when it comes to a fixed blade, this just feels good. Now, I'm not sure how much you can do a harpoon clip point blade with a belly and a finger choil in so many different ways where it doesn't look, you know, similar to something else. But, you know, the one thing that came to mind was the Tenable Fenrir, or the Concept Fenrir for that matter, a Sparrow Knife Works design. And the handle is completely different. Obviously, it's a fixed blade, not a folder. It is absolutely custom made. I want to say the harpoon starts a little bit later. It is a narrower design. You do have this nice little finger guard situation here as well. So it's definitely different enough. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a copy or anything. Maybe inspiration, if anything. But again, as a knife guy, I'm sure you guys were probably thinking about this in your minds as well, and just wanted to address that, or I guess point that out too. Now, it being a custom made knife and everything, of course, you got to put it through its paces here. Already got a feel for the blade. Feels nice. Let's go ahead and go piece of paper and cardboard for a very scientific cutting test here. 5x zoom. Let's see how it goes into the paper. Biting into the paper. Oh yeah, that is nice. Definitely biting right away. And again, I'm telling you, that acid wash sort of finish, it's kind of like a stone wash, acid wash, whatever the sauce is he did on here. Definitely looks really rad, to say the least. Some full slices. Oh yeah. Oh, come on now. That is nice. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, no doubt about it. That is as sharp as you would want a fixed blade, pretty much. No issues there. Got a single wall piece of cardboard, cutting diagonally for better performance. It's gonna look something like this. Oh wow. That is no effort whatsoever. It feels pretty good. I mean, not to mention comfortable. Now, it has some belly. I taper off. That was just me. Not being too intentional about carrying my cut all the way through, because you do have a long cutting path. But yeah, needless to say, guys, the knife cuts. Now, it doesn't kill you, because it ain't that kind of show, but it cuts. By the way, if you got that reference, you are a true OG. Rate the cutting performance on this bad boy 1 through 10. Let me know in the comments. Did we get so excited about the knife that we forgot about the sheath? Yes, the answer is yes. I almost forgot completely about the sheath. Going in and out of the sheath, pretty solid. Nice little click. Not too hard of a click, just very soft, good click. No rattle of any kind. Good, satisfying experience. Got this little portion here to push out with your thumb. I like that he used some premium hardware here. That's nice and shiny. Some shiny screws there. Other than that, just what you would expect from a good sheath experience. It gets the job done. Then once you're ready to cut, you know, you take this bad boy out and you're ready to rock and roll. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on each one of these guys. They're all linked down below in the description and pinned comments. It does help out the channel when you use those links. That's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. Shout out to all these brands for sending these in for me to check out and share with you guys. And a huge shout out to you. There are tons of videos on YouTube and you chose to watch this one. That means the world to me. Thank you all so much. Check out this video YouTube recommends to the left, or this video I recommend to the right. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.